Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. I hope you're all having a great week so far. I can't wait for the weekend because I am scheduled for a beach trip. So I can't wait because I haven't done
Wow.
it first time. It's my first time for the past, and it's not my first time. It's my first time with a set of friends. I think I had one last March with my family, but this is one with
Yeah.
my friends. So can't wait. So welcome everyone. Just doing an attendance check to our participants. Let's call out folks. So I have folks. Lila's watching from Laguna.
hmm
Javi's saying hello from Las Piñas. Oh,
While
Javi said
doing work.
maybe he's about to go to work. I think. Okay. Said while doing work. Okay. I have Samantha here from LinkedIn saying hello, watching first time episode here. Lilas also says happy Thursday. Thank you. Very good. So, let's get on to business because this one is something that is so popularly asked by a lot of our
Mm-mm.
viewers. Even in my inbox, it's always siya ang laman ng aking mga inbox. But I always keep on saying na, nako, ito na naman. People might say that, it's a negative, the stories are negative. But really, the most pressing issues are conflicts in the workplace.
Correct,
So
correct.
we're going to be dedicating time for that because for the past three episodes, we talked about quitting. We've talked about ano pa ba? Resigning, job
Yes.
hunting, managing your salaries, for example. So this time we'll talk about head-on conflicts with your boss or conflicts with your colleague and what should you do about it if you happen to be in this situation. Of course, remember, there is no Bible. This is not a hard, fast
Mm,
rule na may isang way
correct.
lang to do it. But would like to give you some experience, anecdotes, and our participants or viewers can also pitch in that if they are
Yes,
in the same
please.
situation. So we would love to do that. Okay, so let's get on. By the way, dagdag ko lang, no, if it's your first time to join us, and if it's you're just jumped in now, could you please give us a like or a heart? I would love to see that from our viewers, from our listeners. That will help us
Shout
also
out
improve our
also,
social media.
Jonathan, to those watching from LinkedIn
I
because
see them as
I see,
well.
I see a lot from Facebook. Pero in fairness to LinkedIn, dumadami din ng viewers natin from LinkedIn versus the previous three episodes.
I'm happy with that. Rico says, watching from May Kawayan, Bulacan.
Mm.
Hello. Okay, very good. So this is our company, JY Consultancy and Ventures. We specialize in helping organizations propel their employees to success. So if you guys are interested, you can watch our webinars and videos on my Facebook page. And of course, we're here because we want to train and bring the best out of your employees through our workshops and our webinars. If you have any career issues, that's my email address. If you'd like to invite us for a motivational talk for your organization, you can also contact us through this email. Okay? So, as mentioned, this is today's topic, managing work conflicts, specifically involving accusations and falsehood. Ayan, madami yan. Right? Si seatmate mo, naging kaaway mo because nagkanakawan
Mm-mm.
daw. Right? Or let's say, for example, si boss naging insecure about your achievement for a project and the boss seems to
Mm-mm.
be not on the same page, what do you do? Okay, so
Correct.
I'll give you the floor for the first question. I'll let you read this one.
Sige. Let's get started. Sabi nga ni Jabi Rodriguez from Facebook, chismis is real. Sometimes
That's right.
chismis can be a source of conflict, no?
That's
Alam
right.
natin, na-experience natin yan.
The Marites and the Karens are not only in the mall or in a flight, they are also in the office because they're also
Correct.
workers.
Correct. Sige, let's get started. So I'll read the first letter. A colleague who I suspect was unhappy about my recent promotion, okay, he was also expecting but didn't get it, has been posting on Facebook that he deserves the promotion better than someone else. He also
Nagpaparinig.
mentions, mukhang nagpaparinig kasi ikaw lang naman yung na-promote. He also mentions situations that pertain to me with the intent of destroying my reputation. Wow, ang lalim. I have a feeling this post is about me. Should I confront John?
Hmm. Ikaw
What do
muna,
you
Fa.
think? O sige,
Feeling ko
ako
mas
muna.
magandang sagot mo sa akin eh for this one.
No worries. For me, this one, so syempre, the way our letter sender parang wrote this is parang medyo sure na siya, no? Na siya yung
Na siya
pinaririnig natin.
yun.
Or this
I think
is,
the
this,
person's being polite, pero siya talaga yun.
pero siya talaga yon, no? And there's really some context. So I'll assume face value that the letter is what it is, no? Posting on social media ako based on my personal experience, tapos walang name na sinasabi, is really a form of release for a lot of people. But in my personal experience, people can be so brave on social media, and yet when confronted in real life, will fold or
They're
parang
doormats. I'm
biglang
sorry.
soft.
I've met so many people like this. They're so brave on social media because they know that their identities are hidden. But when you see them
Correct.
in real life, they're doormats.
Or even if they, in this case, nag-post naman siya, so may identity siya and all, pero never nag-drop ng name, right? So hiding in some vagueness ang kanyang defense. But alam
Yeah.
mong ikaw yung pinariringgan. So for me personally, and this can be different depending on your approach, I've never experienced this in real life because Jonathan, you know me, I'm a miscongeniality.
You are.
But if I do encounter this based on some related experience, I will personally confront. Again, this is your office mate. Likely, you may even be seatmates or on the same floor. And based nga on my experience, people can be brave on social media, but when confronted, biglang, 'di ba? Biglang iba. So
Mhm.
there's an objective way of confronting. Of course, hindi kayo away or bardagulan agad, right? There's a way of syempre take a screenshot. I would recommend take a screenshot of that post
Agree. So you have proof.
before this person takes it down. And then in an objective or calm way, if you spend lunch together or if there's a
Invite,
light
no?
day at work, mga Fridays, no, na medyo coffee hour, ganyan, have us sit down together and objectively confront and say, hey, I saw your post on Facebook and it felt like you were pertaining to me. Is there something I can do to help you or to discuss this with you if
Yeah.
you need to vent out your feelings or something? So without really saying na pinaparinggan mo ako eh, like sinisiraan mo ako eh. First, you're asking for a confirmation. And you'd be surprised.
Agree. Agree.
You'd be surprised that even if you think it's you, pag nagulat siya, sasabihin niya na, no, there's another person I'm referring to or this is ganyan, ganyan.
Some of
So,
them do that. They will retract
diba?
because they don't want to feel
Diba?
like they're guilty. Yeah. But
Correct, correct.
I like how you mentioned that take a photo and you can always use their own words. I
Hmm.
may not be that person, but I have a checklist here. It's someone who got promoted, it's someone who does X,
Mm-mm.
Y, and Z. It seems like I'm that person more than anyone else. So it's
Mm-mm.
hard for the person to deny if that's the case.
But always ako, and this is also out of my genuine and sincere concern for that colleague, no? Offer that if she needs a person to help process her emotion of not being promoted, the sadness in there, then turn it also into a way to win that person. Kung
Yeah, the
kaya
person.
ha. Yeah,
That person, that's right.
like this is how I was confident to secure that promotion. You know that I was able to successfully do this project. I think that was the biggest factor of why I got the promotion. So objectively, na defend mo din yung kanyang accusation that you didn't deserve it. Parang ganun yung parinig, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll take a different route.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized because a part of me feels like when I was visualizing, if I was in a situation, una ko naisip agad ang dami kong kailangan gawin eh. I have deadlines to beat. I have X, Y, and Z. So a part of me feels like if I was not personally named by this person, I'm gonna ignore it for now. And as long as what was written does not hurt yet my reputation, I think I can let it pass. Because if I confront the person, it might even blow up to something bigger. However, if it comes to a point wherein all the reputation damage becomes irreversible, it's becoming even bigger, that's where I will really confront the person. Because I also have a feeling sometimes people just place it on social media because they, as you mentioned it, they just want to vent because they want to feel mentally better
Mm-mm.
without the intent of wanting to confront with anyone.
Correct. And John, someone echoes your same takeaway. Julius Christian Bernal Eustachio from Facebook says, no, I wouldn't react. As long as it doesn't affect my reputation at work, I would rise above the petty post. Petty
Yeah,
post indeed, diba? But for
yeah,
me, you can check also if a lot of people are liking that post Eto na.
Agree. I will cover that part.
Correct, right? Like, siguro naka 100 likes and these are your office mates. Medyo ano na yon. You can really say that
It's a red flag. Like,
it may
yeah,
damage your reputation.
that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. Can I call this out also from Jewel's son from LinkedIn? He says, instead of confronting, show more kindness. So this is where kill your office mate with kindness, right? And prove that your character deserves a promotion than anyone else. That's another way to be more
The
classy.
maturity. The
Yeah, the
maturity of it.
maturity to ignore because I'm like, I'm way above this because I'm not gonna tolerate petty issues like this.
Mhm.
Mariah is asking, is this applicable to freelance work? It applies to any kind of relationship. It could even be about your sibling saying that you
Mm-mm.
did X, Y, and Z, but they posted it online, and then all of your kamag-anaks and relatives started to side with which sibling. So yes, all right.
Grabe. Ang daming emotions na na-unpack in
I'm
that letter
sure,
alone. And we can see, John, that there's no one way to attack
of
a
course.
situation, right? Like, that's
Yeah,
how I would personally do it if it happened to me. Our commenters said no, they would ignore it. Some say attack with kindness. So this is a great,
yeah.
healthy discussion. No.
Okay, I'll go for the second question now. I'll read this. In a meeting with other departments, my manager raises an idea I suggested to him and implies that he thought of it. Should I speak up during the meeting? So, this a manager who credits himself for what you
Mm.
said and he wants to
Mm-mm.
look good. So let me volunteer an answer here first.
Yep.
I, again, as what Farah mentioned kanina, there is no one way of responding. It will depend on the situation, plus it will depend on your capability. I see myself as someone who has been advocating lately that if something is wrong and is not factual, I will call it out. And I will not let it be the way it is unless hindi pa ako sure. Kunyari, sa kanina, in the example a while ago, the person has not yet named who this person is. So okay, I'm gonna let it slip. But this
Correct.
situation, ito yung talagang lantara na in your face, the person is lying in front of you and is
Or
even benefiting from it.
grabbing credit.
Yeah,
No.
he's grabbing credit. So here's where I'm gonna call this person out. The problem, however, is that you have an audience. And so if you start initiating a conflict, it will you might even lose because people might think na, well, I don't really know who said who, so I'm not sure who to
Mm-mm.
side, and you end up losing their reputation even if you were telling the truth. So you have to mince your words. So I will do it in a stealth mode. So
Mm.
I will say something like I will let my boss speak. I will let him finish his words, and then I will politely insert myself and say, "Ah, yes, Mr. John, thank you for highlighting my point last week. You know, when I was saying that to you, I also meant X, Y, and Z. So this way, I remain to be very amicable, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to gain back the facts that I showed to him. And this does not give him any space to retaliate because it will be unlikely that he will say, no, 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 that's my idea, not yours. Because
Mm-mm.
you've
Mm-mm.
already claimed it. And between the
Mm-hmm.
two of you, he knows that you caught him, but you're still being classy.
Correct.
So
Correct.
again, this might be hard to pull off for some people. So treat it depending on your capability to confidently insert yourself in the conversation. How about you, Fa? How would you approach this?
We're very aligned there, no, John. But I agree that there's an art, no, or there's some technique to go about it. For me personally, if it's an idea that came from a personal insight, I will really lay down my cards. Na in the same way you said, when I thought of this idea, it was because I was maybe it came from your personal experience. No, I got the idea from my recent
Mm-mm.
trip abroad when I
Yeah.
saw this, ganyan.
So
And
there's
then,
context. There's
correct,
context to how
there's
the idea was born.
context. Correct. And makukot off guard din, of course, si manager and remember na maybe meron lang mga tao minsan na ganyan. Siguro sa dami nilang iniisip, they think it was, or kaka-replay in their mind, they thought it was their idea and forgot that
Agree.
it was
Agree.
actually,
I love how you said that because sometimes
mm-mm,
it might not be a deliberate stealing. It might
Correct,
just be
correct.
that in their mind, they thought it was their, I agree. Hindi ko naisip yun. So thank you for
Yeah,
raising it.
yeah. Because sometimes there are people like that, and ako, to be honest, John, no, I sometimes it can also happen to me. The more I repeat things in my head, sometimes I think sa akin galing yun, but then in the end, it came pala from our dinner conversation, or
Mm,
somewhere
mm-mm,
else, no.
mm-mm,
So ayun.
mm-mm. Can I also add one way to prove to the audience in stealth mode that you are the brainchild is if you expound further the idea, because the master, the brainchild is always the person who thought of it from start to finish.
Correct.
So when you claim back the idea, if in case talagang ninakaw ha, if you claim it, don't just say it was mine, explain further. And when I thought of it, I actually think we should also do X, Y, and Z. So the other plan is potentially this product can also be sold in other stores, in brick and mortar, etc., etc. So it
But
gives
for
proof.
me, correct, very important to call it out. Do not be silent, even if it's a manager or someone higher up who does it, because without calling it out, magiging habit siya eh. People will not be conscious, or that person will not be conscious about it until it is called out. And credit should be given when credit is due to a certain person, right?
Yeah. I have here from Jager. That's what I learned
Ayan.
as a manager. Give credits to those who are deserving. In our group, we encourage and train our direct reports to present on their own, and we let them explain their own idea to the senior leaders. Because ownership is empowerment. It makes you feel that, hey, it was my brainchild, therefore I can continue doing this over and over again because they will let me be. This is very effective, especially when you have younger employees, because
Mm,
for them,
mm-mm.
the ability to gain attention and be exposed to management is something that can help them for their promotion in the future.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Before we go to the next one, I think I need to give away some tickets now, which we always
Ooh.
promise every session. So this one is on May 20, Friday, Boost Your
Mhm.
Confidence Workshop. This is already happening next week, 4:30 p.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. The ticket is worth 799 pesos. But for today, we are going to select 5 names, either on LinkedIn or Facebook, who's going to win it. So, can I give you the honors of choosing who these people are?
Yes, favorite part ko to, choosing winners. Sige, so let's give the first one. Congratulations to Mads Valadon on Facebook.
Mads Valadon, congratulations.
Congratulations. Also to Julius Christian, ang haba ng pangalan niya, but Julius Christian Bernal Eustaquio, congratulations. Let's give, hanap naman tayo sa LinkedIn, no? At marami tayo ding viewers doon. Let's give it to Jewelson Kagakit.
Okay.
Congratulations.
And last two.
Last two, Kiko Santos. Congratulations. And finally, Ro Amarillo, Facebook also. Congratulations.
Congratulations. So all the 5 winners, please claim your prize. Go to the bottom part of the screen you're looking at right now. Scan the QR code and copy the link into your browser. Do not forget, May 20, Friday. And for those who are interested, our tickets are still available. You can go to our website, jonathanyabut.com. Okay, take a photo, take a screenshot, because I need to move to the next slide before our time ends. Let's go to the next one. I'll give you the floor for this.
Okay, a colleague's smartphone was missing on her desk after lunch. I was the only person left in the room, and I'm being accused now as the primary suspect. How do I go about this?
This is a true to life story, by the way, guys. Like, I'm not inventing any of these. I just need to change the phrases. But I had a long conversation with this person that stood for like 3 weeks. Like, we kept on going back and forth. And even if I had a busy time, I was so invested in emotionally because
Oh,
I really feel bad. Talagang na HR itong person na to. Like,
mm-mm, mm-mm.
it's easy to doubt the person, but he gave me a lot of receipts that he wasn't really the person behind it. Right?
Mm-mm,
So, ikaw,
mm-mm.
how would you approach this one?
Well, for most offices, I assume there would be some form of CCTV. No?
Yes.
Number one, kasi ano na to accusation level, so there really must be proof, no? Parang kumbaga sa korte, kailangan i-defend mo talaga yung sarili mo.
Yeah,
And
that's
there's
right.
no best proof but to see a footage, no? Now, in the very unlikely scenario na walang na-capture na CCTV, sira, or your office doesn't have a CCTV, witnesses, of course, would be another
Mm-mm. Yeah.
source, no? But you said that you were the only person left in the room and you are being accused. So I understand tricky situation ito. And from your personal experience, John, mukhang umabot ng matagal, no? Kung 3 weeks kayo nag-usap,
Yeah.
I would actually be very curious how it went. But
Yeah.
truth shall prevail. Mahaba
Not
man ang
all the
journey,
time. Not all the
mahaba
time.
man ang journey, but I believe that the arc always bends towards
Yeah. Oh,
goodness
that's
or
true. That's
justice.
true.
So, um, yun, for me, gather as much proof you can about the
And you know, the
situation.
sad part, however, is in absence of evidence, which is what happened in court proceedings. In absence of evidence, it's establishing character.
Mm-mm,
Establishing character that establishes precedence that the person is likely going to steal because in the past they exhibited behavior that they will.
mm-mm.
So that's
Yun
that's
yun.
actually what made these people free. He was able to get free from it because obviously no history, and the person's
Ah,
also a stellar performer.
mhm. Okay.
I'm also going to share now what really helped this person in the end. What really was the conflict in the end is that his reputation was more at stake because after a few weeks, dumating sa pagkakataon na lahat ng mga office mates, siya na yung iniisip at siya na yung tinuturo even if there was no proof. So you know what the person did? The person got a lawyer. And again, I'm saying this from a point of privilege that not everyone can get a
Can do.
lawyer.
True,
Yeah,
true.
but what he did was that he issued a memorandum in the office as well through the lawyer's help, saying that accusations should never pinpoint to any person, including himself, so that if ever
Mm,
you're spreading lies, you're spreading at the person to do this, then that can be bound for a crime, right?
mm-mm,
Which is
mm-mm.
like you're ruining someone's reputation. Publishing anything could be libel or whatever it is. I don't know what was the case that was
Wow.
filed. So
Wow.
of course, syempre, I can understand where the person came from. O sige ha, you're advancing your horses, I'm gonna advance mine. Because no one's
Wow.
siding for my end. My
Umabot sa
only,
low level.
right? My only concern was that, and this is where I wasn't able to crack the code from his stories. I didn't know how the HR intervened in the situation because I'm also a believer that when these things happen, the HR or any arbitrary party should never side with one until there has been evidence or
Correct.
establishment that the person really did it. Right? It
Mm-mm.
should also be HR's responsibility to ensure that the behaviors of all employees are intact. Meaning,
Correct.
if someone is spreading lies, you have to call them out because that's your
Mm-mm.
job in keeping the
Mm-mm.
integrity and the ethics of the company.
Fairness to both. Kasi dapat, di ba, integrity ito eh. So, dapat innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
But you have to balance that yung nagreklamo at yung inaakusahan
It's he
are
said, she
both,
said it. I agree.
oh, and they're both your employees. So, as HR, dapat maano
Mhm.
mo talaga
Yeah.
yan.
I also want to highlight this because if you're from HR, you have to establish your authority here because the moment you lose control, it sets an image from the rest of the employees. The HR does not have any teeth. The managers don't know how to control. So it will
Mm-mm.
create a precedent in the future. You know, people think that they can go through this route as well to get what they want.
Mm-mm. But now that we're talking about this, my gosh, totoo, CCTV is real. Sana
Yeah.
lahat meron.
Okay. All right. Let's go for our last question before we end the session. So here
Last na
goes.
ba?
Fact. Yes, this is the last fact. Bilis no.
Okay, okay, ang bilis. In our current work from home setup, the management enforced a new policy in which we have to align the tasks we accomplished for the day every 5 p.m. I think this is unnecessary and consumes time. How do I raise this issue to my boss?
Okay, let me answer this because this is something that I get often when the pandemic happened. There is such a
Mm-mm.
thing as daily call alignment for some companies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I am personally against daily call alignment. So when I say
Mm-hmm.
daily, as in you have to report everything, now you have to turn on a Zoom meeting or
Uh-uh.
you have to turn on your phone just to do it. Because I do think if you're after alignment, you don't need to meet up and spend time to do that via video call. You can, for
Mm-mm.
example, give them a template that they need to accomplish so that they get to
Mm-mm.
list down what were the achievements of the day. That's done
Mm-mm.
without having to require them to be available face to face or online. That's number one. But number two, if I were in this situation, the way I would raise this to my boss has to be about the merit of time, which is
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna raise it not because I don't want I don't want additional time for vacancy. I'm saying it's because it's starting to creep into my other tasks that should have been given more time and more focus. So
Mm-mm.
gusto ko sabihin sa boss ko na I'm not a reporting manager, I'm a product manager, right? And if these
May
things
ganon.
if these things need to be done, then I need time to allot to focus on my work, not on reporting. Kasi ang reporting, tapos na eh. It's a lag,
Mm-mm.
not a need. Di ba?
Mm-mm.
If you're familiar with the Four Disciplines of Execution by Stephen Covey. So I would raise to my boss, but I don't want to sound like ninakawan ako ng candy. Because I will
Oo.
appear as if nagreklamo ako. And I don't want to
Oo.
appear like that. So I will rephrase it in a way that I want to get things done. Don't get me wrong, we're on the
Mm-mm.
same boat. I want to get things done. I do, however, propose that in order to get more things done, we have to structure which task needs to be given more time. And may I propose, instead of doing a Zoom call every day, can I just give you a list of the accomplishment with their status across columns? So there.
Correct, correct. Me naman, John, as a manager, it's not my style to be doing this, to be honest. Because for me, it's a sign of mistrust or trust
And
thing yan eh.
micromanagement, right? It's
Correct.
bordering to
So,
micromanagement.
if you're the type of manager who will need to look at the tasks of everyone under you, medyo ibig sabihin you don't trust them to be doing their jobs, no?
Yeah.
But that aside, there are a lot of tools that we also personally use that is effective for my team. I can say personally, for example, there are Trello boards where everyone can put in their tasks or the things that they're doing, and hindi na namin kailangan mag-call because in one look, even from your phone, because it's an app also, you can see what people are doing, no? Also, John, the dynamics of the workplace is that sometimes it's not just about whirlwind tasks, no? There are
Mm,
days na wala kang tasks and you have to do deep analytical work, meaning reflect on vision or the long-term goal. Sometimes even sit down and build relationships with clients. It can, kung face-to-face yan, it can take time and you might not be able to do some tasks. So the flexibility for me should be out there na hindi kailangang everyday um,
yeah.
i-align. But I agree that alignment is needed.
I would do that once a
We
week. Once a week or
Yeah,
twice a week at
weekly.
most.
Mas weekly, no? Alignment more on objectives for me, not necessarily tasks because
Yeah.
each employee has his or her own way of discarte, diba?
Can I also raise, you know what I notice as a consultant for companies? When you require a daily call at the end of the day, you know what it does? It makes certain colleagues not call you any time of the day. Thinking na, even if I have something to ask, mamaya na lang kasi meron na kaming 5 o'clock meeting. Which I think is
Mm-mm.
sad because if you need something to be raised, raise it now. Send a
Mm-mm.
chat.
Oo
Make a phone
naman.
call. Don't wait for the 5 o'clock just because there's an allotted time for it. That even makes things worse because mas lumala na ang problema and you haven't even worked on it.
Mm-hmm.
So there. Can I just answer this because I don't know the answer as well because I think they're interchangeable. Sabi ni Jewelson, what's the difference between daily call alignment and daily stand-ups? I do know that daily stand-ups is about raising the progress of your project. So maybe the key difference is a call alignment is what happened and that's it, right? A progress could be a daily stand-up
Mm-hmm.
could be what's the progress and what's the next step moving forward. But for me, this is
Mm-hmm.
semantics. At the end of the day, you're letting someone know what happened and what's gonna happen next.
Oo, yeah. Daily for me is really, for me kapag daily level, my God, it becomes really unrealistic and
And sometimes
medyo micro.
I tell folks sometimes you need to ask that in your job interview, because it can make or break. I've met people who resigned because it was required every day. So in a remote work setting, in a hybrid work setting, I think you have all the rights to ask that. So ask something like, how do you align with the teams given that the team is in a remote or hybrid setup? Do you align daily? And for me, it's a red flag. This is my personal preference, but if someone tells me there's a daily log, there's a daily alignment, I'm sorry, I'm going to skip it because that means the company doesn't know how to communicate and doesn't know how to. That's my personal. perspective, doesn't know how to trust their people as well.
Mm-mm. Especially, John, I'm sure on top of the daily log, you would also be chatting in some group. May chat kayo sa Viber,
Yeah,
may
and
chat kayo
you
sa ano, may emails pa. So for me, very redundant kung pati yung daily tasks mo,
exactly.
i-report mo pa.
Exactly. So it's like people are doing their task to report, not to sell the product,
Mm-mm.
not to provide the service. So Julius, before we end, here's sabi niya, somewhat similar to the activity for our company during ECQ, we were required to submit a daily report. I'm totally fine if it was required daily during the ECQ because it was unprecedented. It was for the first time. But it's been 2 years. By this time, you've already established the trust with each
Oo.
other. I think
And
you've
ways of
already gotten
working.
the flow. Yeah, you've gotten the flow of how people work to the point you don't need to do it as a requirement. It's more of as a guide, and if it should be
Mm-mm.
optional as well.
Correct.
Okay. All right. We thank you, Fat, for this session.
Wow.
Last na
Bilis.
hirit na lang. Meron pa tayong prizes na papamigay. So let's give away the last set of prizes to our participants. I hope that's okay to our folks. I'm sure you guys are wanting some tickets. So, meron pa palang isa fa. Pero skip ko na yan. Wala tayong time eh.
Oo,
So
next
here's
week.
my, next week because we're gonna continue the next topic. So, here, kaya pala sa mo kanina, question number 5 na ba to? Question number 4 pa lang pala. But anyway,
Okay.
so let's give away this ticket, The Art of Virtual Selling and Remote
Mm.
Customer Service, happening on May 27, Friday, 4:30 p.m. So, I'll let you choose again the winners. Mas dami natin yung mga
Cool.
LinkedIn para
Okay.
hindi sila
Sige,
magtampo.
sige.
So, we have lots of LinkedIn
Oo.
folks here.
Although it's the first one I'm seeing. So ibigay
Sige,
natin
go.
kay LJ Francisco. And then
Okay,
I'm
congratulations,
scrolling to
LJ.
see LinkedIn comments. Let's see. Angelica Billones from LinkedIn. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
G De La Rosa, LinkedIn also. Congratulations. And
And finally, last two.
then Lawrence J. Loregas, congratulations. And
Yeah.
Nicole Ann Viloria Sibayan, congratulations.
Congratulations to all the 5 winners. So please make sure you scan the QR code that is shown on your screen right now. If you cannot scan, copy the website link bit.ly/JYPrize. And we'll see you in our session. That's next week, May 27, Friday. Okay?
Mm-hmm,
In
mm-hmm.
the meantime, we'll see you guys soon. If you're up for listening to podcasts, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, From Grit to Great with Jed. I'll see you next week for another fun-filled
Yes.
session about career clinic. See you
Thank you so
guys.
much for having me. Bye, everyone.
Bye.